interestingly enough, and this is kind of tied together, is that Gal Luft, the guy who came forward with these allegations and now who is on the run from arms trafficking charges, wrote a book called De-Dollarization that was making the case against the US dollar and against American hegemony in the financial system, that it's a fuck America screed. Hey, Boston Brian. The book he wrote is a fuck America screed. And the fact that the Republicans are backing this dude is just, I think, very telling. That said, there is, the general story of de-dollarization and that the rest of the world is fucking off from the dollar and it's over. It's all over, but the farting is garbage. I'll just cut to the chase. It's just shit. It's just nonsense. It's silly. And I find it particularly hilarious that the people who are arguing for, that the BRICS currency is going to turn into something, refuse to recognize that the BRICS currency's cryptocurrency that they were going to use is going to be pegged to the dollar. So if the dollar crashes, so does their fucking crypto. So who gives a shit? It's just so stupid. Anyways, along with that is this guy who knows a thing or two about making money, because this is the dude. You know all the stories you've seen recently about Mike Pillow having to sell off all of his stitching machinery and all that shit. The stories about him, basically My Pillow is going under because of Mike Pillow's bullshit. Well, yes, it's true that Mike Pillow is spending a lot of his fortune and chasing this fantasy of the big lie, but also destroying his own business by being an embarrassment to his company. But there's another bigger pickpocket in this entire thing that has just been rummaging through Mike Pillow's pockets, and it's that guy. That's Brannon House. And Brannon House built Lindell TV using money directly from Mike Pillow, and his suits get nicer all the fucking time. May I draw attention, if I may, to his monogrammed pocket square. That's fucking new. So this is, and he's wearing is that a double breast? Is he wearing two suit coats, or is that a double? Is he wearing Qui-Gon's shawl under that? What the fuck? Anyways, his suits get nicer all the time. This dude is straight up like a Brooks Brothering it now. And he gets to sit in the nice studio while Mike Pillow looks like he's doing his show from the waiting room of it at his chiropractor's office. And then, of course, I know it's got to be hard when you're in the maggot zone to find guests for your show in general who are still willing to flog themselves for Donald Trump on the airwaves on the regular. And if you do find them, they're gonna look like this. They're gonna be in front of a TV screen with the American flag, and they're gonna look a little bit like a crazed, abusive father who was drummed out of the military for, dereliction of duty, but runs his house like a platoon. And could there be a more Bannon, Mike Pillow guest to have on? Now, this guy's inside story, apparently, he's got the inside scoop. The beginnings, look at this. Now, I thought this was over. Was it supposed to be done by now? Wasn't the dollar fucked last August? Right? A year ago, right?
De-engineering.
Weren't they getting rid of? Does anybody remember, Jimmy Dore and Russell Brand were doing stories last August about the dollar is fucking done. The petrodollar is petroed out, and there's no petrol left in the petro thing, and it's all dead and done, and that's that, and fuck it, right? How many times? You guys remember we did dozens of those fucking videos over the course of 6 or 7 weeks. So, but this is the beginnings, okay? It's just beginnings. It's just the trickle. Let's see. I want to know. It's about fucking time. I guess it's got to happen.
All right. The other one is related to no state dinner for Yellen. What is that all about, Colonel?
Oh, no state dinner, not steak dinner. I don't know if she eats meat at all. Maybe she prefers. You English with your fish and chips. Your chips on the plane. I had the chicken.
Mills.
Yeah, I can't establish yet, but in media, I'm not seeing any references to a state dinner. There was
You can't. Wait a minute. You can't establish it yet. You're not seeing it in media that that Yellen's having a state dinner. Okay, first of all, when's the fucking Treasury Secretary going to get a fucking state dinner with Xi Jinping? Are you out of your fucking mind? Didn't Mnuchin get one? What are you talking about?
a reference that she had a meal with, a deputy premier, unclear who, during her state visit. But she's the Secretary of Treasury.
Well, their foreign minister disappeared 2 weeks ago and nobody's fucking seen him. So maybe there's a bigger problem.
One of our in the order of precedence, one of probably at least the top 10 in the rank order of precedence. And for her to go over there,
yeah, she in the top 10.
This is absolutely the routine on
no, it is not.
International delegations. When you go to another country, the hosting country, it'll be two dinners. One in the host country's menu, and then one they will give you a dinner in your own menu. And I've been through this many times. And for this not to happen is a huge insult to Yellen. That is, she's showing up and they're going, yeah, we think Chick-fil-A down the street in Peking is open. Why don't you go there?
Okay, first of all, oh boy, let's start with Beijing. It hasn't been called Peking since before the war. Secondly, Peking, fuck off. Chick-fil-A is a religiously affiliated restaurant that they would not be allowed in China because of their Christian messages on their napkins or whatever the fuck, or their packaging. So, weird drop in that regard. What the fuck? Now, let's continue. Obviously, there's and I guess the other part of it is that it's the Treasury Secretary, and she's meeting with the financial advisors over there, who, by the way, are all expendable. And if they know fucking anything, or did know anything, they're dead or in jail. Xi Jinping has been cleaning house of anybody who knows how anything fucking works.
And get something, then somebody will meet with you tomorrow. This is a very serious matter. So if she,
yeah, it's very serious matter. What are we gonna do, guys? I mean, China's gonna eat our lunch, and they're not even letting us eat their lunch when it's lunchtime. Even then,
she did not get a state dinner when she was there, and she's probably the old crazy cat lady type of saying, "Oh, don't worry, don't bother. I don't make a fuss out of me. I'm just here. You're the Secretary of the Treasury. Come on, Yellen, start acting like it. I mean, and know when you're past your prime. And I mean, I don't mean to be an ageist,
but since I'm sexist already and just an asshole, and by the way, oddly bigoted about not even giving a fuck to know that Beijing, never mind.
But please know your time when to get off the stage when you're past your prime. Don't embarrass yourself, Yellen. I mean, her jabbering at congressional testimony is not impressive.
Yes.
So
because you're not hearing what you want to hear. What, you want her to shit talk the economy when she literally can't because the facts don't back up your version of things?
Yes, we have talked about that. We have talked about the fact she gets asked these questions and she acts like a deer, in the headlights. Like, I can't believe she has no clue, apparently, some of the questions she would be having come at her. She hasn't apparently prepped for any of that. Yeah, I mean, we have commented.
Well, some of the Republicans are asking asinine bullshit questions, so the shock is understandable. Secondarily, so she's just stumbling into the dollar being strong and the stock market remaining strong and wage growth and low unemployment. She's just fucking tripping her way through this. I guess if it was this fucking easy, why is Trump patting himself on the back for any of his successes? If anybody could just go, oops, we got 3.6 unemployment. How'd that happen? I don't know. I'm sorry. Did I bump into you?
On that here in the last few weeks. One of the last interviews I did with Rebecca Walzer, we were commenting on how poor she comes off in her congressional testimonies here.
You work for Mike Pillow. Do we need to go to him next? Uh-huh.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, it's bad. So at this point in time, we've talked about this on numerous occasions. She needs three things. He wants to usurp the dollar as the reserve currency. Watch
That's
Durban,
right.
South Africa in August. And there's the BRICS countries. Now
Is that one or two? Are we still on one? We're still on one.
Blinken is putting heavy pressure on South Africa to not host and postpone because Putin is actually under arrest warrant from the Hague, the International Tribunal in the Hague. I think Putin is a bad
Is this two or three? Which one is this? Are we still on BRICS currency and the toppling of the dollar, or is there a never mind.
guy, done lots of bad things.
Yeah, I mean, who likes him? He's short. He likes to have his shirt off. It's a little bit gay. Bothers me. You don't like it.
So has Zelensky. Zelensky's corrupt.
Yeah, but and basically 6 of one, half dozen of another. I mean, one of them attacked the other one's country and murdered, hundreds of thousands of his people. But they were provoked. Zelensky just, he stood there being all Jewish and stuff.
Okay, so now they're so clever. The adults in the room have now created an arrest warrant. Well, what happens next time Blinken goes overseas and he gets arrested? I mean, be very
For what?
careful about this. So Putin has an arrest warrant, and they're saying South Africa, do not host this. He has an arrest warrant. If you do, you will be in violation, and we will sanction you. But again, remember, sanctions and really, 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 it's all about who is the reserve currency. There's no formal directive instruction on who gets to be the reserve currency, but banks will honor when they see the king, the big dog in currencies, and that currency comes to them, like Treasury and Yellen says, "Hey, I want you to sanction a country." They'll say, "Okay, yeah, you're the reserve currency. Everybody does transactions. Everybody converts to your currency." But
Is this still 0.1?
Durban, watch out, because you also have a number of other countries, Egypt, Saudi Arabia,
Not Egypt and Saudi Arabia.
UAE are petitioning to join the BRICS. It'll be a subject of discussion. Watch out. So,
Oh, I'm watching. I'm excited. It's almost like at some point the United States and the West and developed Europe and Canada and Mexico and a lot of South America is going to be, with the exception of Brazil, I suppose, is going to be on the side of using currency to buy and sell goods and services, and then everybody else will just team up with the BRICS for what, guns, drugs, and human trafficking. Is that what it is? The new currency of slave labor. They're just sick of those fucking sanctions the United States puts on you. So yeah.
So he's already. It's not going to instantly collapse, but
No, not instantly, obviously, but it's tickling at it right now.
but this is the beginning of the demise of the dollar as the reserve currency.
Well, they cut him off right there. He didn't get the whole fucking sentence out. You jerks. Now he's a retired colonel from something or author of The Nation Will Follow, and apparently he knows economics, and that's what he's telling us.